Hi there, welcome to Jamaica Magazine. So glad you're here for another informative half-hour journey. I'm your host, Theodore Henry. We have a lot of interesting stories lined up on today's pages, so please sit back and relax for the gush of inspiration coming your way.
I wonder who that somebody be. No, sir. Let me look for my glasses. Oh, that somebody look like rice up. It's Latte walk on. Me glad for see you, Roy. Although things never go on for you, America, me glad say you there.
Yes.
Lift your head high.
Yes.
Stay out of trouble.
Yes.
And you can have a fresh start back home.
All right, Mr. T. Thanks, you hear?
Let's all work together for a fresh start back home.
This message is brought to you by the Office of the Prime Minister.
Good day, I'm Twyla Whelan and this is your JS News for Monday, July 28, 2025. Residents of Jacksontown in Trelawney and surrounding communities are now accessing health care in a more modern facility. Health and Wellness Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton has officially reopened the Jacksontown Health Center following major renovation and expansion work. The work was done at a cost of over $20 million under the ministry's Operation Refresh program. Dr. Tufton says the government is investing in all community health centers to ensure residents have access to high-quality holistic care with curative and preventative health services that will lessen the need for secondary and tertiary care.
Today, we are seeing a transformation in that. And what it means is that primary health care, community health care, and prevention is getting more attention than the curative requirements of accident and emergency and hospital beds. Now we're doing both because we're building out hospitals too.
Funding for the refurbishing works at Jacksontown was provided mainly by the National Health Fund and the Health Support Fund. It included roof repairs, tiling, painting, perimeter fencing, expansion of the waiting area, installation of AC units, electrical upgrades, and paved parking. Starting this September, students will no longer be automatically promoted to the next grade without meeting academic standards. The policy shift was announced during a recent press briefing to update on the work of the Education Transformation Oversight Committee, ETOC. Committee Chairman Dr. Adrian Stokes explained that students falling below grade level expectations would be placed on specialized pathways.
Students who are not at the requisite level will be placed on a pathway that allows them to remediate the learning challenges they are experiencing. Individual learning plans will be developed for these students to ensure proper targeting of learning challenges.
The reform is a direct response to growing concerns that many students, particularly those transitioning from primary to secondary school, are not adequately prepared, even for the demand for them to take up to 10 subjects. Education Minister Dr. Dana Morris-Dixon emphasized the need for greater flexibility in the curriculum to accommodate the needs of students who are struggling with foundational skills.
It makes no sense to have a child go into high school, not able to read, and you give them all these subjects that they have to do when they're sitting there unable to read. And so we have said to the principals, flexibility is yours.
Meanwhile, science laboratories in secondary schools are set to undergo a significant upgrade thanks to funding from the World Bank. The initiative will focus on equipping biology, chemistry, and physics labs with the tools needed to facilitate meaningful hands-on learning. The update was shared by the Portfolio Minister during the recent ETOC press conference.
I've been into some of these labs. I've been in physics labs where I don't see anything. Been in biology labs where I don't see the equipment. And so for us to truly be a STEM country, we have to get the equipment in our science labs.
She explains that the ministry has already begun conducting surveys and audits of science labs in secondary schools to assess the current state of the facilities and determine what upgrades are required. In addition to the science lab improvements, there is also a $400 million investment from Hart NSTA Trust to upgrade technical high school laboratories across the island.
So every single technical high school will be given a state-of-the-art lab spending $400 million on that.
Still on education, Eto is reporting that implementation of the 365 recommendations from the Jamaica Education Transformation Commission is now at 30%, up from 23% in the previous quarter. Chairman of Eto, Dr. Adrian Stokes, says the work is advancing across all pillars of the reform plan. He reveals that 2 more initiatives were completed this quarter, bringing the total to 17 actions finalized since the education reform process began.
We have identified serious issues relating to weak accountability systems and ensuring that individuals within education are held to a world-class standard.
The Mona School of Business has been engaged to assist with a comprehensive review of the Education Ministry as a first step towards ensuring the ministry becomes globally competitive in its administration and policy making.
The next step involves consultation with critical stakeholders before we provide feedback to the Mona School as they finalize their recommendations.
Dr. Stokes says the committee's goal is to have a final set of recommendations by the next press briefing. The government has launched its plastic-free summer campaign to help stakeholders and consumers adapt to behavioral changes surrounding the use of single-use plastics. Led by the Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation, the campaign coincides with the global observance of Plastic-Free July. Chief Technical Director of Environment Policy and Management in the ministry, Gillian Guthrie, says the campaign is to warn the public as well as to gain feedback.
It's a way to engage the public and to sensitize them to why we're doing the ban, what is the benefit to their health and to the environment in going to the environmentally friendly alternatives. And to hear from them what are some of the gaps, what are still some of the challenges in instituting the ban, and what next we should be looking at in respect of plastics.
The National Environment and Planning Agency, NEPA, is reporting a 90% change in consumer use of eco-friendly shopping bags compared to single-use plastic bags, commonly called scandal bags.
One matrix that we can use is with respect to the data that we're getting from International Coastal Cleanup Days. We have seen significant reduction in the single-use plastic that we pick up along our beaches and coastline.
And finally, Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness has described former Senator and Minister Don Wehby as a visionary leader whose influence spanned both public service and private enterprise. Mr. Wehby passed away on Saturday at the age of 62. In a statement, the Prime Minister says his passing is a tremendous loss for his family, colleagues, the communities he uplifted, and for the nation he so passionately served. Dr. Holness reflects that Mr. Wehby served with integrity as government senator and minister without portfolio in the Ministry of Finance from 2007 to 2009, and again in the Senate from 2016 until his retirement in 2024. During these years, he says Mr. Wehby was always offering wisdom and mentorship while having a firm belief in the potential of his homeland. The statement continues with acknowledgement of Mr. Wehby for not only his professional excellence, but for his character and unwavering commitment to Jamaica's future. Don Wehby joined Grace Kennedy Limited in 1995 and served as the group's CEO for 14 years until his retirement in February this year. Prime Minister Holness is expressing deep condolences to his family and the staff of Grace Kennedy and is encouraging that his legacy continues to inspire us to serve with purpose, integrity, and love. And that's it for JS News Today. I'm Twyla Whelan. Thanks for watching.
Research conferences provide a crucial platform for collecting and sharing knowledge that can be transformed into actionable public policies that benefit the society. We are turning the pages of Jamaica Magazine to feature our National Health Research Conference, giving you a glimpse into its evolution, growth, and significance to local healthcare development.
It is fundamental now to gather the data, to assess the data, to use the data to make informed decisions. I want to commend you on the work that you have done and encourage you to continue in terms of the work that needs to be done going forward.
The National Health Research Conference, NHRC, is where science, innovation, and policy meet to impact the health and well-being of the population. This transformative event has been helping to shape Jamaica's healthcare landscape for over a decade. Following its inaugural staging in 2010, it's the flagship platform of the Ministry of Health and Wellness, uniting government institutions, academic minds, and the wider public to share groundbreaking health research that's pushing the boundaries of innovation and that can provide solutions to meet modern healthcare needs. The NHRC's key objectives are to facilitate the sharing of research findings from the various participating researchers, identify operational research with the potential to shape public health policy, and aid special discussions on the conference theme to drive actionable outcomes.
It's research that will have some impact on our operations, our guidelines, our policies. For example, we did COVID research, and that helped shape our COVID response.
Since its inception in 2010, with a gathering of 80 attendees at the Pegasus Hotel in New Kingston, conference attendance has soared over the years.
The last conference would have seen 933 persons on Zoom and over 6,000 persons on social media. So it has grown exponentially.
Early funding support from research partners like the Caribbean Health Research Council and the National Health Fund laid the groundwork for the conference's continued evolution before the Health Ministry took full charge in 2015, ensuring it became a regular fixture on the national health agenda. The National Health Research Conference has seen stunning growth each year in the number and quality of research abstracts submitted.
When we started out, with a few abstracts that would have been submitted up to today, where we have a large volume in terms of poster and oral presentations. The growth still continues to where our numbers have grown, and I'm very proud to be a part of that experience.
Initially, we were getting submissions mainly from the Ministry of Health community, and then we branched out. We're now getting submissions from universities, other universities in Jamaica, as well as Ministry of Health.
The research and the dissemination of research is not the end of it. We use it. Some things may not be ready for use today. There may be plant products that seem to have a good effect on, say, diabetes, but it's early. It's still in rats or other animals. And so it will, over time, probably 5, 10, 15 years down the line, it may prove to be useful. But at least the exposure and to see what is happening in that world is important for us to know.
An example of such research on the control of type 2 diabetes was shared by student researcher at the UWI Faculty of Medical Sciences, Marley Wright.
The results were promising, and it showed that the combination of GSNO and glutathione could be a possible treatment option for type 2 diabetic patients. From the results that I found from my study, it seems promising and something that we could look towards. We could engage the Clinical Translational Research Unit from the Faculty of Medical Sciences at the University of the West Indies, Mona, to see how this could be done. We could also seek further information from them about what other drug tests we need to do to see if we can push this forward to clinical trials.
Some of the key research with strong policy impact looked at road safety and non-communicable diseases, NCDs, and Jamaica's salt consumption pattern.
This was first time we are knowing how we consume salt in Jamaica, and we are consuming just too much salt. Probably almost twice as much salt, sodium. But potassium, which we get from fruits and vegetables, we are not having enough.
The National Health Research Conference awards presenters for high-quality research in 3 categories for both the oral and poster competitions. And these are Best Overall Presentation, the Most Impactful Presentation, and the Best Student Presentation. The NHRC takes months of planning, starting with feedback from participants, debriefing, and an evaluation of the previous event, which helps with choosing the next theme. The theme is then formally approved by the executive management of the Portfolio Ministry. That is followed by another set of evaluation and meeting, leading to a call for abstracts where researchers are invited to send in their research.
By about summer or mid-year, after we do the call for abstracts, by about September, then we would have our the close of the call. And when that happens, we then do an adjudication. So the abstracts have to be judged to see which will become oral and poster presentations. And then after that, we would contact the researchers and verify that they will present.
Other spokes in the wheel driving the conference are engaged simultaneously as the conference secretariat works administratively with partners, preparing for the opening ceremony, doing supplements and magazines, and then selecting moderators, special presenters, etc.
The systems that have been put in place has grown in strength, and the conference has likewise grown. And so the journey continues, but it has been a good journey.
Till the next conference, every third Wednesday to Friday in November, this has been our peek inside the NHRC, with over a decade of transformative research shaping a healthier future for Jamaica.
July is observed as Health Workers Appreciation Month, and in this final week, we are putting the spotlight on some of our health professionals. Today, we highlight the work of pediatric surgeons and public health inspectors.
Before the day breaks, they rise, not for fame or fortune, but to face the relentless rhythm of healing a nation.
The work that we do, it is of paramount importance.
If I need to go to the operating theatre within a short time of notice, I am there.
This is not just a job, it's a calling. Today we step into a moment in the lives of two unsung public healthcare heroes.
One thing I can say, any public health inspector that you will ask, they cannot tell you point blank what their day will look like. We're everywhere. Anywhere you can think of, a public health inspector has to go there.
There are a number of duties, and the life of an inspector can be seen very, very essential.
So our trainings would include our food handler certification. For the numbers, for one day it can range anywhere between 120 up to 160. So for the week, we're looking at us training about close to 300, sometimes more than 300 individuals for that week.
For the inspection of food establishments, they would carry out at least 10 inspections per day. There are so many diseases and so many conditions that can cause persons to become sick.
So you have to do public health education. Outside of training, we have to do inspection. So we have to certify these food handling establishments to ensure that they're operating within standard. Not only food shops, restaurants, but we have to certify hotels. And we have to inspect the health centers, the hospitals, the call centers.
As well as another will be doing inspections of meat and other foods that are imported from other countries, and inspections of prisons, various factories, and other places such as manufacturing plants.
Outside of that, we have to go to the homes. We have to do residential inspections. We have to do the airports, the seaports, all our ports of entry. We have to protect those barriers before anything comes to us. So remember, preventative. As long as it involves the public, we have to inspect.
As public health inspectors, we are a guard between the public and the proprietors.
I am Dr. Garfield Badal, and I'm the regional pediatric surgeon for Western Jamaica. As a pediatric surgeon, we look after patients from as early as the antenatal period until they're, legal adults, age 18. My typical day will start with pre-work arrival planning, which sometimes doesn't parallel anything I've planned for the day. But let's say everything goes according to plan. Then I'd arrive to the ward, we do the ward rounds, and then usually after the ward round, all the decisions are made. The patients are then, looked after by the care team on the ward, which is inclusive of all my residents and the nurses that are assigned to that particular ward. If it's an operating theatre day, then we start typically at 7 o'clock. 90% of the cases that we do are day cases. Having done the operating list, a ward round is then ensued in the late evening to ensure that the patients are in fact okay. Those that are to be discharged are discharged, and the residents will do our follow-up overnight on the ward. My night doesn't end at 4 o'clock. It doesn't end when the operating theatre, my time has expired, but certainly overnight we have to get integral feedback by the staff on the ground, and my residents will call at all hours of the morning to ensure that we take care of these patients and ensure that we get the best outcome that's possible. I absolutely enjoy this job. It's part of me. The joy you see on the parents' face when they have that little one in their arms to exit the hospital, it is an amazing, amazing feeling that really goes beyond your day.
I would like to tell them to continue the good work that they are doing because they are very good. I'm not telling any lies. These doctors, they always try their best to make sure that everything is okay in many different cases, not only this case, but they are very good doctors.
In the face of fatigue and fierce responsibility, they chose compassion, not for praise and not for spotlight, but because every life matters. This is more than duty. This is work from the heart.
As a people, food can equate. But we must know when certain things too much. My advice to you is this. Swap out the little fried fry for some healthier options like baked chicken and baked potatoes. Avoid sugary drinks, my friend. Instead, grab a nice fresh coconut water to keep you hydrated and energized. We can also eat more fruits and vegetables. We know you love the ackee, but add some pineapple, banana, or string bean to balance it out, no? Fruits fresh and ready for your energy. Make a better effort to improve your nutrition. Every little change helps for the better.
In the few remaining minutes of our Jamaica Magazine journey, we are exploring a profession that's important to the management and development of Jamaica's marine and shoreline economy.
Hydrography plays a vital role in keeping our seas safe and our shores protected. It's a science beneath the surface, but its impact is felt all around us.
Hydrography is the art, science, and technology surrounding the surveying of or the data collection of water bodies as well as the surrounding coastal features. So this includes, depth measurements, information in the water column, as well as some shoreline data collection as well.
But why is it so important for Jamaica?
Hydrographic surveying provides the data which is required for resource management and conservation. It supports safety in seafaring and efficiency in transportation using the modality of the sea. It provides the information required to develop our coastal infrastructure, and it helps us in the delimitation of our territorial boundary, which is critical to our resource management and conservation.
thinking about the fact that 90% of global trade happens via the sea, it's very important that we have our charts up to date with accurate depths and representation of different features that may exist on the seafloor, so that mariners who are entering our ports are entering so in the safest manner possible.
From disaster preparedness to trade protection, hydrography plays a key role in national development and regional resilience.
So our typical day starts early so that we can maximize the usage of the waters. When it's late and more windy, we have more undulating waves. Thereafter, we would have to check the tide gauge. If it's still collecting data, we would do the RTK setup for the base and rover for position collection. We would start the boat and ensure that we have all powers ready for collecting sonar data.
The multi-beam echo sounder system, it creates a map. It helps to create a map of the seafloor by sending sound beams down to the seafloor and back up to the multi-beam echo sounder, which is in turn translated onto our acquisition laptop, which we interpret to process that data. The multi-beam echo sounder, it determines depth and also features such as navigational hazards, such as rocks, silt, sand, shipwrecks.
Once the seafloor is mapped, that data is turned into nautical charts, guides that are essential to safe and efficient marine travel.
So we use industry-grade hydrographic surveying softwares such as ArcGIS Pro and CARIS, and collecting all of that data, I'd use the various softwares to then compile each data set to then create the charts. It's a very strict way in which we go about doing charting, because when you think about navigating on water, it's not that you're gonna see a pothole just in front of you. The sea might look calm and there's a rock under there, there may be another wreck under there. So we have to make sure that when we are putting the chart together, we're detailed and ensuring that safety comes first, and that the person who's gonna sit down and actually read this chart understands.
After the Hurricane Beryl, a vessel was going over to CMU, and it sank in the harbor. We were called upon, we responded within a 12-hour period. We found the sunken vessel within 3 hours, and we notified all the mariners coming into the harbor. That posed a risk to the ships coming in, because there has never been a maritime accident in Jamaica. That's the cause of outdated data.
The climate change, as you know, is an emergency for us. We are expanding our capacity by constantly training officers, constantly acquiring new equipment. So we want to broaden that reach of sustainable technology, which is going to be educated by hydrographic data. We want to set up this type of data can influence the implementation of early warning systems, etc. And our ambition is to firstly map our territorial waters to influence climate action in our region.
From high-tech sonar to hand-drawn charts, hydrography isn't just about maps, it's about safety, science, and national progress.
Our half-hour journey through the pages of Jamaica Magazine ends right here for today. But please join us again tomorrow on this station for more news, features, and information you can use to live, work, raise families, do business, and of course, retire in paradise. In the meantime, visit our website, jis.gov.jm, for this and other offerings. On behalf of the entire production team, I'm Theodore Henry. Till next time.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.